Good morning! This video will not be made possible without the encouragement of Dr. Philip R. Baldera, our professor in Leading and Managing Change in Learning Organization with the subject code MAED 209. Today, I will be sharing more on the principles of managing change. Let me begin with the change or telling you what is change management. Change management has become one of the most significant factors for success in the bureaucratic paradigm of the modern world. Let us first discover what change management is. It is the systematic approach which deals with the transition or transformation of different organizational objectives, processes, core values, or technologies. Managing change means managing the conversation between the people leading the change effort and those who are expected to implement the new strategies, managing the organizational context in which change can occur, and managing the emotional connection that are essential for any transformation. From the project manager's point of view, change management is the process that is used to get approval for changes to the scope, timeline, or budget of a project. From the infrastructure professional point of view, change management is the process of approving, testing, installing a new piece of equipment, cloud instance, or a new release of an application. Change management is the collective term for all approaches to prepare, support, and help individuals, teams, and organizations in making organizational change. To know more about the change management, let us watch this short video.
Modern organizations face constantly varying market conditions, customer demands, technologies, input costs, and competition. They must adapt to these shifting forces to avoid being eaten up. Change management is managing the impact that these crucial adaptations can have on an organization's people. Four typical responses to change are the critic who opposes the change, the victim who panics, the bystander who ignores the change, and the navigator who's empowered to work with changing circumstances. The challenge for managers is to help people become navigators. Here's some things that we know that help this happen. Number 1, communicate the threat of not changing. Number 2, where possible, involve your team in decision making. Number 3, minimize uncertainty. Number 4, celebrate successes in moving towards the goal. Number 5, keep explaining why we're changing. Remember that when there's an information vacuum, people often assume that managers are plotting terrible things. So number 6, be as transparent as possible. To summarize, organizations must continually adapt in order to survive. To create change navigators, communicate the threat, involve your team, minimize uncertainty, celebrate positive shifts, and be as transparent as possible.
Now, let us focus on the main topic of this discussion, principles of change management. Successful change management depends on the four core principles. Understand change, plan change, implement change, and communicate change. Let's explore this along with some tools and techniques that you can use to put them into operation. To strongly promote the benefits of the change, you need to figure out them yourself. So, think about why do you need to change? What are your key objectives? What will benefits of the change to be to the organization? How will it affect people positively? How will it affect how people work? And what will people need to do to manage the change successfully? It can also be important to think about what the negative result of making the change would be. Beckhard and Harris change equation explains that for change to work, there has to be enough discomfort with the old way of doing things. People should feel confident that the new approach will be better and that there's a straightforward way to get there.
So, deploying a new technology can help your company keep the edge. But, ensuring everyone in your organization embraces it can prove to be difficult. Well, it doesn't have to be. With a good change management strategy, you can identify how to support each individual of your organization during this journey, to help them understand, accept and enjoy this new change. This is the only way to have a successful adoption. Evoluces uses a proven method, the Prosci ADKAR model, to build a structured change management strategy. This framework guides individuals through the transformation to ensure they are aware of the change. They desire the change. They know how to change. They are able to change. They reinforce the change. The execution of the strategy is done thanks to dedicated plans to communicate, train, coach, manage resistance, sustain the change. The Prosci change management methodology is based on solid digital transformation studies of the past 25 years. Prosci studies of 2017 show that 45% of the transformation projects are enterprise-wide. Systems and process changes have the most business impact. Projects with a change management strategy are 6 times more likely to meet or exceed their objectives. And you? Do you support employees to embrace a digital transformation? Contact us for more information.
Change plan. Effective change does not appear by chance. Remember that. And any plan you make should be a right for your business. How change projects are managed can be vary from organization to organization. Some have very definite change procedure, which others are more visible and flexible in their approach. However, you'll need to consider sponsorship. How will you secure, undertake the use of high-level encouragement and sponsorship of the change? Involvement. Who is the best position to help you design and execute the change? For example, will you need outside expertise or can you use domestic resources? Next is the support. Change is most efficient when you can win support from people across the business. How do you plan to achieve this? And lastly, the impact. Finally, think about what success should look like. How will you predict the impact of the change that you need to make? What goals do you need to achieve? The next video is more on how to see the plan change.
How do you lead change when the odds are against you? This is Alice. Alice leads change in her company. Her task is to promote innovation and growth and to make sure her organization has a positive impact in all what they are doing. When you are in charge of a change process, it's a jungle out there. It feels that Alice and her colleagues are lost. They are surrounded by green chaos, unknown vegetation and strange sounds. They ask themselves again and again, how did we get into this and how will we get out? Luckily, Alice has a special superpower. She can fly above the field and develop a broad view. From there, she can detect structures in the chaos and see the whole field. And from above, Alice realizes, hey, I'm part of a group of people with diverse talents which they can apply to bring about positive change. They are curious about what the change brings and they act with passion, courage and compassion. And I can see the path and the goal. and we become aware that we have a treasure chest with us containing all kinds of helpful tools for change. Once Alice and her teammates apply their skills and know their tools, they start to work themselves through the forest full of optimism. That is not the end of the story. On their way, they get stopped many times. There are a lot of challenges to master, but the journey continues. By remembering her capacity to lead change, Alice can help the team to reach the summit. If you want to become a leader of change, join us for an exciting learning journey. Visit us at berlinchangedays.com.
Implement change. As we've seen, there are many strategies that you can choose to put your change into practice. For example, Kotler's 8-step change model explains how to inject the sense of urgency into your action so that you can build momentum and inspire everyone to get behind your changes. Meanwhile, the change curve evokes you to be mindful of people feeling while putting your plan into operation. It shows the stage that all you go through during organizational change, from shock and denial to fully investing in the fresh approach. The following step can help you implement change positively. Ensure that everyone involved in the changes understands that what needs to happen and that it means for them. Agree to the success criteria of the changes and make sure that they are regularly measured and recorded. Map and identify all the key stakeholders that will be involved in the change and set the level of improvement. Identify any training needs that must be discussed in order to implement the change. Hire change agents who will help to put the new practices into place and who can act as a role model for the fresh approaches. Change people's habits so that the new practices become the norms. And clarify everyone is supported throughout the change process. Here is a new example of implementing change. This is from one company.
Question: are you an executive trying to implement change within your organisation? Or maybe you're a change consultant or facilitator. If so, you would know that one of the biggest challenges in this process is trying to communicate your vision to your audience and to capture their engagement and buy-in. Workshops, presentations and policies are all great tools to help you implement the change, but there are limits to what they can do. What if there was a fun and engaging way to convey your vision, one that was sure to create smiles? This is where we come in. At Flimp Studios, we specialise in working with executives and change consultants to implement change using a unique process that increases their stakeholders' buy-in and facilitates the change process in a fun and innovative way. We do this by designing a cartoon representation of the change journey, which typically identifies their current problems, future goals, and strategies which will take them from point A to point B. These illustrations can be distributed to stakeholders on A4 handouts, displayed on a wall as a supersized poster, or even an animation video similar to what you're viewing right now. By using a collaborative and iterative design process, we ensure that all key stakeholders have ownership of the end product to effectively make the change stick. Our key differentiators lie in our staff. Unlike typical graphic artists, our designers have a degree and background in business, which means we understand the lingo as well as the professionalism to work directly with your stakeholders. Simple, it's meant to be. To find out more about our work and to hear what our clients have to say about us, visit www.flimpstudios.com and get started on implementing change the fun way.
The next one is communicate change. Communication is very important component of change management. The change that you want to achieve has to be clear and appropriate. So people understand what you want them to do and why they need to do. But you have to set the right mode so that you can get the emotion reaction you're expecting for. It's a good idea to identify the changes you're planning to your organization's mission and vision statement. Not only will help people to see how the change positively affect the bigger picture, but it will also provide them with an exciting shared conception of the future. Also, be sure to practice good stakeholder management. This will ensure that give the right people the right message at the correct time to get the help that you need for your project. The ADKAR change management model is a useful tool that you can use to help communicate your change and describe the 5 things you should try in your communication. Awareness of the needs for change. Decide to take part in and support it. Knowledge to know how to change. Ability to change. Reinforcement to sustain the change in the long session. Here are some tips to improve change management communication. Before I end, let me share you this quote. Change has a bad reputation in our society, but it isn't all bad. Not by any means. In fact, change is necessary in life to keep us moving, to keep us growing, to keep us interested. Imagine life without change. It will be static, boring, dull. This is from Dr. Dennis O. Grant. Thank you so much for watching.